What's up, everybody? This is the Booch, and welcome to episode 3 of Booch Shoots On. And as you can tell from the title of this episode, I've got a lot to say, and I'm going to be probably even more controversial than I was the last time. But before I get into anything, take a moment to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified so that you never miss another episode of Booch Shoots On, as well as other additional Vinny Bucci YouTube content. And this week, here's what I got to talk about for you guys is Booch Shoots On part-time wrestlers at WWE Super Showdown. Now, ever since the show in Saudi Arabia, a lot of people have been talking, a lot of people have been angry, a lot of people have been irate, and Lord knows I have talked to plenty of you about what has gone down. And I have shared my thoughts on these issues separately. So I decided to take an opportunity to make this video and chat with you guys about this. So, as you guys know, at Super Showdown, we had not one, not two, but 3 part-time wrestlers making an appearance that caused a spark in the world of WWE. To the point where people are angry, pissed off. I think I saw something on the internet where Macaulay Culkin had plans to go to WrestleMania, and he has canceled his WrestleMania plans because he's so pissed off about what happened at Super Showdown. Now, most internet people, most YouTubers have taken the route of being pissed off that part-timers have won their matches. Well, I'm here to tell you right now that I'm taking a little different approach. In fact, out of all the part-time matches or part-timers in the ring, only one actually pissed me off. And I'm going to start off with that one particular match. Now, of course, I'm talking about that match that they had for the Takawari, whatever Saudi name that is for the trophy. I don't really know. I just know the match itself was really well done overall. And obviously what happens at the end is AJ Styles makes to the end. The club attacks, the OC attacks Rey Mysterio. And we're now thinking that Rey Mysterio's not going to make it to the ring, so AJ Styles is going to be the winner by forfeit. Well, then we discover that a mysterious figure in black trunks, boots, and a trench coat took out Gallows and Anderson. At this point, we pretty much already know it's The Undertaker. But then we hear the gong and the walking to the ring, and he gets into the ring. Styles is mad. Styles is pissed. He turns to punch The Undertaker. Undertaker grabs him by the neck, picks him up, choke slams him, does the whole rest in peace tag, pinning combination, sticks out the tongue, and the 1, 2, 3, The Undertaker wins the match. Now, the reason this bothers me so much is for a variety of reasons. And the reason is this. Out of all the part-timers that appeared in Super Showdown, all the matches that were short, this is the only match that was actually a squash, and this is the only match where a superstar actually got quote-unquote buried. Because it took one choke slam to beat AJ Styles. The phenomenal AJ Styles. A guy who has won multiple championships. A guy who has been treated better than anybody else expected him to be treated when he first entered the company 4 years ago. People thought, because he got off to a rocky start with a loss to Chris Jericho and a loss to Roman Reigns, we thought, oh, Styles is not going to get treated with the respect that he deserves. Meanwhile, he was WWE champion for an entire year. He won multiple United States championships. AJ Styles has definitely gotten the royal treatment. AJ Styles, up until Super Showdown, had absolutely nothing to complain about as far as how WWE has treated him in his career. But that was fucking pathetic. And what bothers me the most about it is the fact that everybody's mad about the other 2 part-timers because they got belts, and I'm going to get to them in a moment. But no one seems to be getting upset about The Undertaker. And that's something that's always bothered me with wrestling fans. Now, don't get me wrong. I respect The Undertaker. I love The Undertaker. I acknowledge The Undertaker has done a lot for this business. I know The Undertaker's a first ballot Hall of Famer, And a lot of people are wondering why he's not in the Hall of Fame anytime soon. And the answer is simple. He's still wrestling. When The Undertaker finally decides to retire from the business, and dear God, I hope it happens soon, because there's nothing left for The Undertaker to do in WWE. There really isn't. He's just there to be an attraction. At this point, unless he's getting in the ring with either The Fiend or Sting, I don't care what The Undertaker does. I don't. I don't feel like The Undertaker has anything left to give in the ring. He's done it all. And he's the only older wrestler that actually looks like he's too old to be in that ring. You know, there are times outside the ring where he looks decrepit, but then there are times when he gets back in the ring and he looks great for that moment. But he couldn't carry a full-time schedule anymore. I don't know that I expect him to, but I'm just saying he can't. So, The Undertaker's the one guy that should retire, that needs to retire, but nobody ever says it because The Undertaker's the one guy that everybody gives a free pass to. Like, all the things they hate about the wrestling, like, oh, they bury this guy, they bury that guy, this guy never does a job, or this guy never loses. Meanwhile, The Undertaker could be undefeated at WrestleMania, and everybody would just say, it's an honor to share the ring with him. Like, it's not an honor to share the ring with Goldberg. It's not an honor to share the ring with Brock Lesnar. They're not big stars to you. Why? Because they don't walk slowly to the ring and try to steal people's souls? The whole thing is just goddamn ridiculous. And also, what really bothers me is they're trying to build a Styles Taker match for WrestleMania. How am I supposed to believe that this match is going to be entertaining? I'm supposed to believe that after I just saw AJ Styles get taken out with one choke slam, I'm supposed to believe that match is going to be a full-blown show stealer at WrestleMania? I'm not supposed to believe that from now till WrestleMania, AJ Styles is going to train in a hyperbolic time chamber and become a goddamn Super Saiyan, and he's going to walk into that ring and be able to survive 2 or 3 choke slams from The Undertaker? Or does The Undertaker have to go the entire match without choke slamming him at all in order for this to work? Because he didn't kick out of a choke slam, so he sure as hell ain't kicking out of the tombstone. They have set this up for failure when it had the potential to be great. They squashed everything before they could even get to the pay-per-view. You can't even have a rematch off of this. Or at least not one that's believable. There's no believability. There's no authenticity in anything. So you took what could have been a great WrestleMania match and killed it. What they should have done is The Undertaker should have took out Gallows and Anderson. Rey Mysterio should have dragged his ass to the ring. You have him and AJ Styles fight it out. Rey Mysterio, like the underdog he always is, overcomes, fight, whatever. All of a sudden, the gong hits. Styles looks over. Crowd goes nuts. We think The Undertaker's coming out. Styles gets distracted. All of a sudden, Rey Mysterio drop kicks. Drop kicks into the ropes. He's leaning there. Boom. 619 connected. Then he gets up. Does a splash off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Rey Mysterio wins the goofy Saudi named cup. And then what happens? Then you have The Undertaker out on the ramp staring at AJ Styles. AJ Styles staring back at The Undertaker. The announcers sell it. Now you got your match for WrestleMania. AJ wants revenge. You cost me the goofy Saudi named cup. Now I want to fight your ass. And then you build up to the anticipated match, and it would have been a lot better. Instead, you have him squash AJ Styles, so now you have a match that's in no way believable. So you killed the match before it could even happen. Just killed it dead. Styles and The Undertaker are going to wrestle. Now, of course, some fans are still going to clamor for it because they love The Undertaker. Hell, Desmond, who's coming with me to WrestleMania, he already told me he's just happy to see The Undertaker's entrance live for the first time ever. I've seen it live multiple times. I'm desensitized to it. But he, on the other hand, is going to be excited. So I'm obviously going to keep my mouth shut because Desmond's my buddy. I'm not going to take that moment away from him. But that was just pure fucking garbage. Undertaker's the one old guy who's clearly too old to be in the ring, but nobody says anything because we can't make fun of The Undertaker. It's sacrilegious. They put him on this insane pedestal there where he cannot be made fun of. He cannot be touched. He's above criticism. And I think that's bullshit. If you're a wrestler in the ring, you are subject to criticism. So, that being said, let's move on to the next match. We got Brock Lesnar and Ricochet. Now, Everybody complained that this match was 1 minute and 30 seconds. You got to be high and out your mind to think this was going to be a knockdown, drag him out brawl. And I'm sure most people did, because for a lot of the time, you know, when Brock was fighting younger guys, he gave younger guys their shine. Ricochet didn't deserve any shine. Ricochet didn't deserve this match, period. Anybody that knows me knows I am very anti-Ricochet. And the reason is simple. I don't consider him to be a wrestler. I consider him to be a circus performer. Because every move he does is a spot monkey move. He has no ground game. Every now and then he'll chain wrestle, but it's rare. And he did the stupid thing of running at Brock Lesnar. Everybody does this, and they're stupid. Kofi Kingston did it, lost in 9 seconds. He did it a second time at the Royal Rumble, got tossed out of the ring. You would think Ricochet would have been clever enough to come up with a better strategy to distract Brock Lesnar, but instead he got caught, and Brock just pounded him into the ground, hit him with the suplexes, the F5, 1, 2, 3, Brock Lesnar wins. It's what needed to happen. I just love the fact that Ricochet got stopped before he did any of his spot monkey, flippity bullshit, which I'm sick of seeing. I am sick and tired of the spot monkey crap in wrestling in general. The fact that very few people don't know psychology, don't know how to tell a story, you're not remotely interesting, you don't have a great physique, you're basically a small guy, so you gotta do this flippy shit in order to get over. But the problem is, so many of them small guys are doing the flippy shit because they're watching this guy do flippy shit and getting over, so I'm going to do flippy shit and get over. Before you know it, every match you're watching is the same. It's not even remotely interesting. I know every Brock Lesnar match he had is the same, but at least Brock Lesnar is believable. His matches are short because they're believable to be short because he was in UFC. And also, the focus of this match was not for Ricochet to have a good match. It was for Brock Lesnar to be an attraction in Saudi Arabia so he can set up for the real fight with the real man, Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre, that's the match that's going to draw money. Ricochet couldn't draw money if you gave him a green crayon. Okay? He can't. He doesn't draw money. He's a spot monkey guy who's there to do acrobatic tricks and make you go, ooh, ah. That's all Ricochet is good for. That match didn't need to be a long match. It shouldn't have been. In fact, I wish the match were shorter. Because Ricochet is not of any value except for flippy crap. So Brock Lesnar had to quickly dispose of that shit so we could focus on the real fight between him and Drew McIntyre for the title. Where Brock Lesnar damn well better drop that belt to Drew McIntyre because he deserves to be champion. That's a main event match. That is money. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get to the last one here. I saved this one for last because it's the one that's pissed off everyone the most. The Fiend versus Goldberg. What did you all expect? Did you really expect Goldberg to lose this match? I didn't. And I'm not just saying that because I'm wearing a Goldberg shirt. I'm just wearing it because out of all the people involved in this, this is the one shirt that I happen to have. So it fits the theme of what I'm trying to say. Plus, I was a Goldberg fan. I am a Goldberg fan and was and have been my whole life. This is the thing. Goldberg deserved to win this match. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because we got WrestleMania coming up on the horizon. Roman Reigns, he's walking out with that Universal title. Whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, whether the wrestling fans like it or not, Roman Reigns is going to win that title. And as far as I'm concerned, he's earned the right to hold it now. Because that's the one title he never lost. He surrendered that title after getting diagnosed with leukemia. And he was gone for quite a few months, and we didn't know if he was ever coming back. We didn't know if he was still going to be alive. And Roman Reigns came back, announced he was in remission, and the crowd went crazy. And for the last year, because he came back a year ago, around February, he has not been anywhere near the Universal title. WWE did the smart thing, and they didn't rush to put that belt back on him. They put him in rivalries, they put him in matches, they gave him all this stuff to keep him away from the championship. And allowed other people to have it, and other people to build with it, and Brock to sit at home with it, and all that stuff. They gave other people opportunity. And allowed Roman Reigns to regain his respect. And now, we are at a point now where the fans love Roman Reigns, and we're past the leukemia honeymoon period. no longer cheering him because he's happy because we're happy to see him back from leukemia. They're happy because they genuinely love Roman Reigns. He has earned the respect of the fans. But the fact is, that Universal title was coming back to him eventually. And here's the thing. If he was to beat The Fiend for that championship, I don't care what anybody says, he would get booed out of that building. Because no one wants to see Roman be the guy to end The Fiend's streak. No one wanted to see The Fiend lose at all. At all. Even though once you get a championship belt around your waist, the countdown begins to whenever your streak is ending. You could have the most impressive winning streak of all time. Once a belt is around your waist, the countdown begins to when your streak will finally end. Because you can't hold a belt forever. At least not in this day and age in WWE. Or in wrestling in general. So Roman was going to win that title. But if he had beaten The Fiend, the boos would start all over again. But if he beats Goldberg, the fans will cheer because he's beating a part-timer, and no one wants to see a part-timer sitting at home with the belt. So from a booking standpoint, it's logical. It makes sense. Perfect sense. Also, The Fiend was booked to be this unstoppable force. Seth Rollins threw everything but the kitchen sink at Bray Wyatt. Everything. In that Hell in a Cell match, in the Falls Count Anywhere match, and The Fiend kept getting up and up and up. So who else was credible enough to beat him? Who was credible enough to beat this guy? There ain't nobody on that roster. The only other people besides Goldberg would be Brock Lesnar. I know nobody don't want to see that. Let's see. Roman Reigns would be credible, but again, as I said, the boos would start all over again. Maybe Braun Strowman, if he wasn't the Intercontinental Champion, he probably could do it. That would probably work. But he wasn't booked. He wasn't built up to be that way. This made perfect sense. And here's the best part. Bray Wyatt didn't get buried in this match. He looked strong throughout the entire match. He looked strong in defeat. It took 4 spears to beat him. He hit 2 spears, and Bray got back up. And at one point in the match, at 2 points in the match, actually, after he had 2 spears, then he got attacked by the mandible claw, and Goldberg was down on 1 knee. Then he hit 2 more spears. Bray sat back up, hit him again with the mandible claw, and he was on both knees. When was the last time you saw Goldberg on his knees struggling? When was the last time you saw Goldberg on the defense? Not very long. Hasn't been very long. Especially, at least not with somebody from the full-time roster. Maybe with Brock Lesnar, he was on the defense a little bit. Maybe with The Undertaker, they had a period of time. But I know for a fact, nobody on the full-time roster put him on the edge like that. And then Goldberg hit the jackhammer. Now, obviously, it wasn't the best jackhammer in the world. Some people say it was the worst, and I don't know. Maybe I think the one against The Undertaker was worse than this one. Because on the other one, The Undertaker got almost dropped on his head. But that's mostly because Goldberg was knocked out and there was a miscalculation. So it just wasn't a jackhammer where he held him up for a period of time and then dropped him. It was a quick jackhammer. Okay? And I'll admit, I would have liked to have seen 2 jackhammers in this match. Maybe 3. I felt if Goldberg did a few more, that would have helped out. And I admit that could have made the match a little bit better. And also, when Goldberg was celebrating with the title, Bray got right back up and was staring at him. I wish instead of disappearing, he'd attacked Goldberg right there. Choked him out with the mandible claw, and Goldberg actually getting choked out. And then the lights go off, and then they come back on, and Bray's gone, and you hear that maniacal laugh that he does. That maniacal laugh. Disappeared. That would have been a better way to end the show. But either way, The Fiend still looks strong. And here's the thing. He didn't need the title. And now, people were wondering, like, oh, now he doesn't have a story for WrestleMania. Now we find out he's facing John Cena at WrestleMania. And in fact, to better explain it, Bray Wyatt reacted to the Goldberg loss and the match with Cena. Matter of fact, there's the article right there. And I'm gonna read an excerpt from the tweet right now. This is what Bray Wyatt tweeted. He said, and I quote, "Life is a circle. No matter what beast you make of yourself or how bright one is, inevitably the dark side comes again. But the beauty of the circle is, round we go. Then he offered this up. To my mockingbird, not a loss, but instead a sacrifice. He wasn't a chapter in my life. I began with a mission, and now I'm where I was supposed to be. You'll see. Revenge is a confession of pain. Chapter 4, Atonement and the Addict. And then there was a fan who wrote, why does this monster the Fiend care if their match is at Mania or in a sewer? Wouldn't he just be ruthlessly aggressing Cena anywhere? Surely the Fiend doesn't care about a WrestleMania moment. And Bray writes back, because it has to be where it all began. It's a circle. So there you go. Bray Wyatt's character doesn't care about a championship. He has the same attitude as the Joker. He doesn't care about money or flashy things. He just wants to watch the world burn. And Goldberg wasn't a chapter in Bray Wyatt's career. The whole purpose of The Fiend is to get revenge on people who have wronged Bray Wyatt. That's why he went after the people he went after. Why he went after Seth Rollins. Why he went after Daniel Bryan. Why he went after Kane. Why he attacked the people he attacked. And now he's going after John Cena. Because they fought 6 years ago at WrestleMania 30. Cena beat Bray Wyatt. It was one of the first real losses of Bray's career. And a lot of people out there tried to blame John Cena for Bray Wyatt having a burial in his career. When in reality, while that match did hurt him for a period of time, there were multiple chances to turn Bray Wyatt around that WWE never pulled the trigger on until The Fiend. In fact, I would go as far as to say, if The Undertaker had lost to Bray at WrestleMania 31, it would have made the Cena match obsolete. And Bray would have got over tremendously. So while most people blame Cena for the burial of Bray Wyatt, I blame The Undertaker. Because The Undertaker could have did the job. But of course, everybody wants to blame Cena because it was the easy route to go. Again, everybody wants to coddle The Undertaker. The whole thing's goddamn ridiculous. And also, here's another thing I want to get into. People talking about, oh, he lost to a 52-year-old man. Can someone in the comments section please explain to me why the age of the wrestler is such a problem? Why do you guys think the older someone is, the easier they are to beat up? Goldberg's 52. Look at Goldberg. Any of you want to pick a fight with him that's younger than him? Do you really? Look at Goldberg and ask yourself, do I want to whoop this man's ass? Or do I think I can whoop this man's ass? You are out of your ever-loving mind if you think that age plays a factor. It all depends on body shape. Look at Diamond Dallas Page. He's in his 60s. And look how incredible shape he's in. Just from DDP Yoga alone. He's whooping ass. I'll tell you right now, I'm 33 years old. I dare anybody who's 23, see if you can pick a fight with me and think that being 10 years younger than me is going to give you an advantage. I'll whoop your ass, son. I go back 20 years, but I don't want to whoop a teenager. But I'll tell you right now, if a teenager tried to whoop my ass, I'd knock his dick in the dirt too. Don't think that because someone's older, that means they're weaker. That is BS. It's a bunch of bullshit. And yeah, I just said BS and bullshit. Why? Because I can. It's my channel. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. And I'll give you the best example. The reason wrestlers can win matches is because they're veterans. They can outsmart the other person because they have experience. I'll use this as an example. When I was in high school, I was a high school wrestler. I was varsity my junior, senior year. There was a guy named Andrew who wanted to wrestle me for my spot. So we had to wrestle off. Now, Andrew, I will admit, was built like a brick shithouse. He was jacked. I don't know if he's jacked today because I haven't seen him since high school. But he was strong. He was muscular. Not 1 ounce of fat on him. And back then I was really skinny too. I didn't have much, I didn't have ounce of fat on me either. But I was skinny. I was muscular. I had some muscle. I was in shape. But he was definitely in better shape than me. He was stronger than me and he was faster than me. But I've been wrestling longer than he had. He's only been wrestling for like a year or two. I've been wrestling since 7th grade, and this is my senior year of high school. So I knew what I was doing. And I was able to outsmart him, out-wrestle him, and pin him with my signature move, the Lethal Cradle. And then after I beat him, I kept my spot, and he went to the next weight class up, and we both did very well in our careers. But the point is, I had an advantage because I was smarter. That's why the older veterans can win. They outsmart their opponents, like John Cena. When a guy's beating on him, beating at him, and then out of nowhere, boom, attitude adjustment, 1, 2, 3. It's not because Cena's better than the other guy. It's because Cena knew how to outsmart the inexperienced opponent who could do a little bit more in the ring than he could. So the whole age thing is irrelevant. It's stupid. Especially in a business where things are scripted. And Goldberg gets into incredible shape to do these matches. And he doesn't need to have long, dragged-out brawls because Goldberg is Goldberg. He can still get a crowd going without it. And yeah, he got booed on SmackDown. I'm aware of that. But now he's going to face Roman Reigns. He's going to put Roman Reigns over, and I promise you, Roman Reigns will have a much better resume getting a victory over Goldberg than he will over The Fiend. Because as great as The Fiend is, he ain't a Hall of Famer. He ain't a legend. He ain't an icon. Goldberg is all three. And I know there's also people out there were saying things about Bray Wyatt, him and John Cena. The match would be better if it was for the title. No, it wouldn't. I'm going to tell you why. If John Cena is going to ever step in that ring again and fight for either the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship, personally, I think it should be the WWE Championship. But regardless, if he has an opportunity to break Ric Flair's record, he damn well better beat Ric Flair's record. This is not something you can cock tease the audience with. You can't. You don't promise us breaking Ric Flair's record and then don't deliver. Because if there's one man in WWE that deserves to break that record, it is John Cena. No doubt about it. 100%. Cena deserves to break Ric Flair's record. This way, without a championship, if Bray Wyatt wins, and he should, then there's no title match involved. Because this shouldn't be about a title. It should be about Bray Wyatt getting his revenge on Cena. And because John Cena is now a part-timer, he should do the job for Bray this time around. And I'll tell you this right now. If Bray Wyatt defeats John Cena, that will overrule what happened with Goldberg. But if Cena beats Bray Wyatt, then, and only then, will I declare The Fiend to be buried. And then, and only then, will I allow John Cena to be blamed for it. Alright, that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude this episode of Booch Shoots On. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, feel free to comment below whether you agree with what I said or you disagree with what I said. Go right ahead. All I ask is that we keep it civil. No insults, no trolling, no nothing. As long as you keep it civilized, I can listen to anybody else's opinion on the subject. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button to ring the bell and be notified so you don't miss any additional episodes of Booch Shoots On or any additional YouTube content. I'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, pizza, baby!